Hi, this is New Time on Silkway TV channel. We introduce you with the most visible news and important events that happen throughout this week in Kazakhstan and Central Asia. More details on politics, economy, social and cultural life with opinions from the most recognizable experts of Kazakhstan and world. I'm Aynur Mankali and this is what you'll see today. Visa, investments and trade. What was an agenda of the official visit of Kazakh Foreign Minister Murat Nurtleo to Saudi Arabia? A reportage made by Dauren Isagulov. 100-year anniversary of the Republic of Turkey. Baljan Samigulin analyzed what does it mean for the outer world. To preserve Kazakh national dog breed, researchers from Kazakhstan bid to create a DNA bank for animals' genes. And let us start from the most recent story. The head of state, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, met with the U.S. ambassador to Kazakhstan, Daniel Rosenblum. Issues related to the development of bilateral relations between Kazakhstan and the United States were discussed, along with current topics of global and regional security, Akorda press service reported. President Tokayev referred to economic cooperation as the driving force behind relations with the U.S. and emphasized the need to expand trade, economic and investment cooperation. In turn, Daniel Rosenblum noted that Kazakhstan is a reliable partner of the U.S. in the region. The parties also emphasized the need to expand contacts in the field of logistics, green energy and ecology. It's worth to mention that early in September, Rosenblum also stated that the United States has a strong interest in simplifying visa procedures for Kazakh citizens. Visa-free regime, a new innovative hub and billion-dollar investments. These are the outcomes of the 6th meeting of the Saudi-Kazakhstan Intergovernmental Joint Committee, which took place this week in Riyadh. Representatives from relevant ministries and various business sectors of both countries participated in the event. The Kazakh delegation was led by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Murat Nurtleo. The main topic of this session was investment cooperation. In which sector of Kazakhstan's economy do Saudi businessmen plan to invest up to $10 billion, who will finally be able to visit the 5th largest country of Asia without visas? Dauren Isagulov will provide the details.
Riyadh, the primary financial center of the entire Arabian Peninsula, hosted Kazakh diplomats and businessmen. Indeed, where else but in Saudi Arabia to seek new partners and lucrative contracts? The kingdom's investment climate, increasingly open up to the world, attracts diverse countries in the quest for new avenues of cooperation with the Arab world. The first agreements on mutually beneficial collaboration between Kazakhstan and Saudi Arabia were signed almost 30 years ago in 1994, covering areas such as trade, technology exchange and sport. And today, in the face of global challenges, countries are exploring new avenues of collaboration and mutual assistance. On the very first day of the working visit, Kazakhstan and Saudi Arabia signed an agreement exempting holders of diplomatic and service passports from visa requirements. The possibility of visa-free regime for all citizens of both countries is still under discussion.
The main aim of this document is to withdraw all requirements for holders of diplomatic and service passports and to intensify our trade, economic and investment cooperation between two countries.
The culmination of the second day of the visit was the signing of the protocol of the 6th meeting of the Intergovernmental Joint Committee. According to the protocol, Kazakhstan and Saudi Arabia agreed to establish an innovative hub in Riyadh. This hub aims to promote IT solutions and startups from Kazakhstan in global markets, particularly in Arab countries. According to Kanish Tuleushin, the Vice Minister of Digital Development of Kazakhstan, the hub is set to commence operations in the January of 2023. We presented a series of digitalization projects such as Smart Data, Ukamed and eGov, and they showed great interest in them. I believe it's a significant opportunity for exporting our technological solutions to the country and the Middle East. Digital family cards, fuel monitoring, such systems will be highly relevant in Saudi Arabia. Speaking at the event that was attended by Kazakh and Saudi delegations, Murat Nurtleo paid special attention to the energy sector as a key area of cooperation. The kingdom's largest investor, Aqua Power, is ready to invest up to $10 billion in green energy projects in Kazakhstan. The agreement was signed earlier on the sidelines of COP28 climate conference in Dubai.
Now we are very excited about the very tight bonds between Kazakhstan and Saudi Arabia, and we just finalized our first agreement for 1 gigawatt of wind in Kazakhstan. There is a big need for new electricity, also to decarbonize Kazakhstan as a country. Of course, it's a country with access to a lot of minerals and natural resources, but also have basically the blessings of great wind resources. We're now exploring 3, 4, 5 other projects, not only wind, but also in the hydrogen space, in gas and also in battery storage. So if everything goes to plan, we are looking to invest a considerable amount of money, close to $10 billion US dollars.
Members of the Saudi delegation expressed keen interest from the kingdom's leaders in strengthening ties with Kazakhstan, which is regarded as a leader in the Central Asian region. According to the Ahmed Al-Dakhil, the co-chairman of the Kazakhstan-Saudi Arabia Joint Business Council, there are no obstacles for the countries to further increase the pace of cooperation. Businessmen are planning to focus on the development of the real estate market, tourism, energy sector and agriculture.
And we found really a lot of opportunities that could be considered in different sectors. Real estate development is one of those as well, and tourism. There is a huge potential in tourism in Kazakhstan, and we have a lot of companies now between Saudi Arabia and Kazakhstan, and mutual really agreements and MOUs have been signed between the two countries, indicates that there is a very potential business.
Saudi Arabia, being the largest country in the Middle East, has a strategic importance for Kazakhstan and Central Asia. A meeting visited by over 100 representatives from the business sector of both countries can be seen as another crucial opportunity to attract investments and strengthen economic ties with the Arab world. Daurian Isagulov, Maksat Tastimbekov from Riyadh for New Time.
In recent years, bilateral trade between Kazakhstan and Saudi Arabia, I should mention, has been rapidly increasing. According to the Kazakh Ministry of Trade and Integration, the trade turnover between two countries in 2023 exceeded $13 million US dollars, 70% higher than previous year. Exports to Saudi Arabia doubled, reaching $7.2 million US dollars. Kazakhstan in 2023 predominantly exported machinery and metallurgical products to the kingdom, including ferroalloys, ferrous metals and construction structures. In turn, imports from Saudi Arabia to Kazakhstan tripled, reaching $4.2 million US dollars. Kazakhstan purchased dates, non-woven materials and other products. Meanwhile, young entrepreneurs in Central Asia will have a chance to finance their projects with the help of European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. The financial institution is launching its 7-year Youth in Business program in this region. This and other interesting news topics from Central Asia are in the review of political observer Ozhet Shigirbayev. Ozhet is now joining me in our studio. Good evening, Ozhet. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Ainur. I'm ready to share my top 4 news topics from Central Asia this week in a minute. First, let's start from a recent youth-oriented project of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. EBRD is addressing the issue of youth entrepreneurship and employment in Central Asia by launching a 7-year, $280 million USD Youth in Business program. It is designed to provide better access to finance and relevant training to young entrepreneurs in the region, where up to 1/3 of the population is aged between 18 and 34. This program will target micro, small and medium-sized enterprises led or owned by young individuals under the age of 35. It will consist of up to €200 million for on lending to up to 20 partner financial institutions in Central Asia and Mongolia. It's expected that the first loan agreements will include, firstly, a loan of up to $10 million USD to Uzbekistan's largest private bank, Hamkor Bank, a loan up to $8 million USD to Shinhan Bank, Kazakhstan, a loan up to $4 million USD to Mongolia's leading micro lender Transcapital, and a loan up to $2 million USD to Kazakhstan-based microfinancial organization. Turkmenistan and the European Union meanwhile discussed various economic spheres of bilateral partnership at the 22nd meeting of the Joint Committee. During the meeting, the two delegations discussed the macroeconomic situation of Turkmenistan and its aspiration for integration into the world economy, especially in the context of the country's aspiration for membership in the World Trade Organization. The parties discussed energy and environmental issues, gas export strategies, initiatives to reduce methane emissions, and the development of renewable energy sources, including hydrogen. Furthermore, they also exchanged views on cooperation in the fields of transport, education, youth policy, research and innovation. Overall, the development of cooperation between Turkmenistan and the EU covers various areas, including trade, energy and education, establishing solid foundations for mutually beneficial partnership. Now, a little bit more about inflation in neighboring Kyrgyzstan. Based on the result of 2023, inflation in the country will not exceed 10%. This forecast was announced by the Minister of Economy and Commerce of the Kyrgyz Republic, Mr. Daniel Ramangildiyev. He added that it was possible to contain hyperinflation thanks to the containment of prices for socially important goods by exempting them from value-added tax. Prime Minister of Kazakhstan, Mr. Alihan Smailov, took part in the regular meeting of the Council of Heads of Governments of the Commonwealth of Independent States, held in Moscow. In his speech, the head of government noted that Kazakhstan is interested in further joint work on the CIS platform to deepen integration ties and fill it with a new practical content. Thus, one of the key areas of joint work in the coming year will be cooperation to expand cultural and humanitarian ties, as well as cooperation in the spheres of healthcare, education and sports. Prime Minister noted that Kazakhstan welcomes the announcement of 2024 in the CIS as a year of volunteer movement. In conclusion, the Prime Minister noted that common approach of the CIS countries to develop cooperation in the field of culture are reflected in the draft statement on the prospects of cultural cooperation. That's all from my part, Ainur. Giving floor back to you.
Thank you. That was political observer Ojer Shagirbayev with his weekly review on Central Asia. And here we have some more news on initiatives regarding volunteering activities. Kazakhstan recently initiated to officially declare 2026 as the International Year of Volunteers for Sustainable Development. A resolution was adopted by the United Nations General Assembly, as reported by Kazakh Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This collaborative initiative aims to fuse volunteering into the development agenda, providing a boost at local, regional and global scales. The resolution was supported by core group members including Armenia, Bolivia, Germany, Kenya and Kiribati, garnered backing from 54 UN member states. It's worth noting that President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev attaches special importance to the development of volunteerism in the country, considering it one of the most important components in the Just Kazakhstan concept. At his initiative, 2020 was declared as the year of volunteers in the country, and young people from Kazakhstan also serve as UN volunteers in several countries of the world. And to continue with some other topics, Turkey this year celebrates its centenary, 100 years anniversary from its founding origins as a secular republic. The country, described by many experts, is a rising global power and can be seen as the bridge between Europe and the Middle East. For Kazakhstan, Turkey is a key strategic partner. Official Ankara was first who acknowledged Kazakhstan's independence in 1991. My colleague Baljan Samigulina decided to analyze what is the legacy of modern Turkey and how the country have been changed since stating its secularity. All the details in the New Times Explainer section.
Turkey's history is intimately tied to Atatürk, who envisioned a Western-rooted Turkish republic implementing rapid reforms to modernize a war-torn population. 100 years later, the country under Recep Tayyip Erdogan leadership has taken a path, embraced its conservative roots. Last spring, Erdogan's victory in the presidential elections extended his rule into a third decade. It cemented his status as the country's longest-serving leader and proved to critics that despite divisions, his vision resonates with people.
With regard to the career of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, I think his origins in his career go back more towards an Islamic-leaning orientation. And so one of the things we saw early in his career was an attempt to focus on the Middle Eastern neighbors of Turkey and promoting closer ties with Islamic countries.
Experts observe that in the last century, Turkey has evolved into a robust regional power, seamlessly integrating into the international political system through NATO and other alliances. Atatürk's initial pursuit of a peaceful foreign policy after founding the Turkish Republic continues to shape the nation's approach, albeit with Erdogan's distinct brand of nationalism. Hakan Güneş, a professor at Istanbul University, highlights this ongoing trend, emphasizing Turkey's increasing influence on the global stage.
Over the century, Turkish foreign policy has changed in multiple directions. First of all, in the first 50 years, Turkey's capacity was not enough. Turkey was not capable of having foreign policy openings so that invest in other countries and to have foreign policy instruments in other regions or countries of the world. But starting from 1960s on, Turkey developed such a capacity. And then from 1970s onwards, so in the last 50 years, I may say, Turkey's capacity to have international policies became evident.
While Erdogan initially pursued a non-confrontational foreign policy during the early years of his presidency, recently experts observe an assertive tone in Turkish politics amid the country's increasing militarization. Politologists attribute this shift to Ankara's diminishing soft power, prompting Erdogan to view military build-up as the primary means to accomplish his objectives.
In the coming years, well, we will probably see development in the areas like the military industry, because that's what Turkey is selling, Before we were selling something else, now Turkey is selling those famous drones.
In recent years, Erdogan has skillfully used the geographical location of his country, offering his services as a mediator in regional conflicts. It's currently between Ukraine and Russia or between Israel and Hamas. However, according to Yulay Jamiloglu, professor of Turkic studies at Nazarbayev University, Turkey nowadays is facing hard moments in its history as the country is going through an economic, democratic, and demographic crisis.
Turkey has very, very strong domestic problems. The biggest problems are economic. It's partially because of Erdogan's understanding of economics. He had his own theories, which were different from what practicing economists would say, though his current Minister of Finance is once again somebody who's very, very competent. So I would say that the inflation is horrible. It was exacerbated by the flood of Russian and other refugees.
Experts note that lately Turkey has strategically shifted its foreign policy, placing a renewed emphasis on the Caucasus and Central Asia.
Erdogan's policy towards Central Asia has undergone a radical change after the Second Karabakh War between Azerbaijan and Armenia. For Erdogan, cooperation with Turkic states is of critical importance. There are two important reasons for this. First, Erdogan wants to manage the rising nationalist wave in domestic politics. Therefore, cooperation with the Turkic states prevents him from losing votes from the nationalist segment. Second, Erdogan can put cooperation with Turkic states on the table when necessary as a balancing factor in his developing relations with Russia and China.
A century after its declaration, the question of what the republic stands for remains pivotal in Turkish society. Some experts propose a narrative where Atatürk is the initiator and Erdogan represents the culmination of a transformative century. Balcan Samigulina, New Time.
Now, if to talk specifically about Kazakhstan and Turkey cooperation, one can say that countries are strategic partners which cooperate on different levels, including the Turkic organization OTS. The 10th anniversary summit of the organization took place in Kazakh capital in the beginning of November. We asked Ambassador of Turkey to Kazakhstan, Mr. Mustafa Kapucu, how Turkey envisions the future of this organization and what should be the role of Turkic world in the modern geopolitics. Watch the fragment of the interview right now. Mr. Kapaju, thank you very much for sharing your time with us today. First, let me congratulate you with the 100 years anniversary of Turkish Republic, and let us start our conversation today from talking about more about the concept of the Organization of Turkic States, OTS, and also the concept of Turkic world broader. So how we witnessed how this organization is really becoming a very strong regional power. So how do you think it will influence the overall Kazakh-Turkish relations in the upcoming future?
Thank you very much. As you know that this organization has moved from its stages to become a full-fledged international organizations. The first in November 2009, it was the Cooperation Council of Turkic States that was signed with 4 countries, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, and Turkey. After 11 years, in 2021, it has become a full-fledged international organization. In this summit in Istanbul of leaders of 4 countries. Actually, in 2019, Uzbekistan became a member for OTC. Plus, OTC has got 3 observer states, Hungary, Turkmenistan, and TRNC, Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, which continues the legal process to become full observer states at the moment. It's really important organization because, as you know, that the challenges in the world and in our region have become more immense by the day. So this organization in the future and today is going to be a balancing actor or a stability actor, and to solve the problems in the region, conflicts and beyond the region through diplomatic means. In the margins of 10th summit that was held here on 3rd of November, our presidents have had a bilateral meeting, very fruitful meeting, to increase and to deepen our bilateral relations. 1.5 years ago, the Turkish-Kazakh relations were strategic, but in Istanbul and October 2021, that was raised into enhanced strategic relations. That means that we have to deepen our relations, also extend our cooperation areas that has already in a very satisfactory position. OTC has increased the bilateral relations between the members and observer states, as well as an international organization, as one unit to act like-minded countries in the challenges of current world.
I'm just really interested. What do you think about the future of political and military status of this organization in this region?
In 2021, in the summit in Istanbul, there was a document adopted. It's called Vision 2040. According to this document, Turkish World Vision 2040, the document is divided into 4 areas of cooperation. So, as you said, in a military or security is in our 2040 vision document. In the recent conflict in Europe, in the Middle East, and in our in our region, that makes, for example, connectivity is very important. Energy security has become very important. So therefore, this geography is placed in a very important part of the world that connects between Asia and Europe. Also, the countries of Central Asia has got big energy resources, and Europe are the main consumers of energy. So therefore, the region has become more important when you consider that the conflicts and divisions in the world between the blocs are really getting deeper in the 21st century.
What will be the position of the OTS to all the challenges?
OTS, first of all, I mean, we are trying, the OTS countries are trying to secure a good connectivity between themselves. Within the organization. Also, between Asia and Europe, a Trans-Caspian trade route, or in old name as Silk Way, has to be revived. And there are several projects to revive old Silk Road into a modern Trans-Caspian or middle corridor transport and logistic route to Europe. The economic power of the world, or economic activities, are now concentrated more in Asian continent. And now we have to see this part of the world is going to be more important in the near future. So I'm very hopeful that the future is going to be Turk era. If we realize enough that we have these common peculiarities, common history, common culture, so that makes us to move in the same way to world and strategic challenges today the world is facing in unity.
Right, thank you very much, Mr. Kapojo. I think this is a very good thought to finish our interview, our conversation today. Thank you very much again for sharing your time.
Thank you for this opportunity.
The state language of Kazakhstan has joined the global linguistic community. The first Kazakh English dictionary has become part of Oxford Global Languages Worldwide project. To date, this platform is the most widespread and authoritative network uniting over 100 languages. The dictionary, which takes into account the peculiarities of modern Kazakh and English vocabularies, was developed under the guidance of Kazakh President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev. The Oxford Kazakh Dictionary comprises more than 60,000 words, including expressions from the fields of culture, IT, medicine, economics, finance, and trade. It also contains brief instructions on grammar rules, pronunciation, and spelling, as well as examples of business and electronic correspondence. More than 50 experienced linguists of the country worked on its publication during 4 years. A total of 10,000 copies have been published so far.
We took as a basis the structure, methodology, technology and registry of the world-renowned Oxford dictionaries, which are most trusted around the world. Oxford contributed its expertise in this work. The Kazakh Institute of Linguistics also participated. Therefore, the work underwent a rigorous expert review.
And in the nutshell, Kazakhstan is establishing a biomaterial and DNA bank for the Tobet dog breed. The bank will enable dogs' genetic material to be preserved for future research. The breeding will also remain a possibility. Tobet is considered to be among the oldest dog breeds which have been living near people with nomadic lifestyle for centuries. According to Kazakh cytologists, Tobets are national dog breeds which have been highly appreciated for their unique qualities, such as endurance, devotion and agility. What is genetic legacy of the ancient Tobet breed? Please watch in our next reportage.
Researchers from Institute of Genetics and Physiology found that only few purebred representatives of Tibet breed remain in modern Kazakhstan. Experts have already begun research intending to explore the genetic resources of the Kazakh Tibet dog breed.
Мы надеемся создать для этой породы не только банк.
We hope to create not only a biomaterial bank for this breed, but a cryobank as well. In the cryobank intended for storing biomaterials, we will use even lower temperatures, not just -80, but -196 degrees Celsius. The storage temperature is sustained by liquid nitrogen. Along with DNA and blood samples, we will store samples of somatic and germ cells in this cryobank.
As for the Kazakh Taze dog breed, for instance, scientists have already created a biomaterial and DNA bank. The study involved dog breeds from various regions of Kazakhstan. Based on the conducted analysis, over 200 Taze owners received genetic passports.
В этих исследованиях принимали участие.
These studies involved the Taze dog breed from northern, eastern and of course southern Kazakhstan, which is identified by our scientists as the breed's place of origin. I really hope that in the future we will be able to include the Taze dog breed from western Kazakhstan in the research as well. Dogs of this breed from various regions may differ from each other. It was crucial for us to cover as many regions of Kazakhstan as possible in our study.
Notably, Kazakh Taze dog breed claimed the top spot at the World Dog Show in 2023. Two Kazakh dog breeds earned the highest titles. Barzhan Samigulina, New Time.
That's it for today. All the main news about Kazakhstan and Central Asia you can find here. More special projects about our country you can also watch on Silkway TV channel. So stay tuned and see you later.